especially as you're getting started writing, you may write books that never see the light of day. I probably have 7 novels, 7 trunk novels that nobody will ever see, and that's fine. I was actually talking with somebody about this over the weekend, and he's a younger writer who had been working in this world for quite a few years, and he'd written a novel and was now working on a different novel because the first one wasn't working for him. And he was very excited about this idea, but it reminded me a lot of my early novels, which, especially for people who write sci-fi and fantasy, I think if you get started at a young age, you have a tendency, you've read Lord of the Rings or some hugely epic world, and so you want to write this hugely epic story, and you don't maybe have the chops for it yet. Maybe you need to write a few books before you can go back to your original idea that you spent, in my case, 15, 20 years world building and writing novels in and trying to find the way the story worked. And it took me going away from that and writing a couple sci-fi novels before I was like, oh, okay, now I know how a book works. I can go back to that world and I can do it justice. So I think the advice that I gave to the younger writer that I was talking to was, I'm not telling you to abandon your project now. I am saying, don't spend the next 15 years working on the same novel. If it's not working, try something different and you can always come back to it. So I think that would be my advice. If you have gotten to a stage where you're like, oof, I've been working on this for a long time. I'm at the revision process, but it's not coalescing, or something's not right with it. Or maybe you are sending it out and you're not getting good feedback from your beta readers, or you're not getting hits from agents if that's what you're trying to do. Write the next thing. Write the next thing. You can always go back and fix this first thing once you learn how to fix it. Or you can always say, you know what, that one can go in the trunk and I don't need to deal with it. So write the next thing is my advice.